Alright, guys, I've always been asked, how is it like innovating in the corporate world? Well, coming from the startup world into the corporate world, I can say that innovation works differently because it's just in a different environment altogether. So I've come to respect the entrepreneurs outside there and the entrepreneurs in the corporate. So how does corporate innovation work and why is it so hard? Well, a lot of people might like to think that we can just implement a startup culture within the corporate space and to be as free as what an entrepreneur would experience if they are on their own. It sounds very nice and it's really very good for ideation, very good for coming up with new ideas, and it's just a breath of fresh air. But when I got into the corporate world to do innovation work, I quickly realized that it's not as simple as it sounds. And it's just because of the different layers within the corporate environment that you don't get outside there. For example, the people working outside on their own startup would not have the constraints of getting approvals from anyone because they're not reporting to anybody. They also are on their own drive and their own funds. So they're literally paying themselves if they did not raise any fund to begin with. And of course, they have the freedom to experiment. It all sounds good. But what about in the corporate world? That world on its own, I can understand because the entrepreneurs that are working within the corporate space are getting their monthly pay from the organization. They would be constrained, or they would like to be constrained to a certain career path, in this case the corporate ladder. And of course, being paid by the corporate, you will need to find some form of alignment to what your bosses and your organization want. So how does this differ in terms of innovating outside and innovating within the corporate? Well, to start with, I think innovation outside on your own boils down to the alignment to the marketplace that you're trying to serve. Whereas on the corporate side, it's about alignment towards the organization goals and vision. So both sides needs to kind of figure out alignment. It's just that the entrepreneur outside will need to align themselves and their interests to the marketplace, where else the entrepreneur will have to align themselves to their bosses and of course to their bosses. Both entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs I have full respect for, but both operates at a different scale and speed and different environment altogether, so they both deserve my respect. I would be comfortable to say, and I might be wrong here, but I would be comfortable to say that entrepreneurs who have been innovating in the corporate world for a very long time may not find the startup world something they would want to they will find the startup world a bit uncomfortable because there's a lot of uncertainty, instability, lack of career path, lack of career growth. Whereas the entrepreneur on the outside will find innovating in the corporate world very stifling and very challenging and constrained. So I hope I answered that question as simply as I can. It's just two different worlds, two different kinds of people innovating with their own respective skill sets and their own respective ways. Both deserve my respect. And two different environments that I kind of simply described to you. Of course, it's much complicated than that. You get the gist. I hope this helps.